Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633 and today I'm bringing a review of the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 Warrior Class Autobot Jazz. Now, Jazz has been kind of the spark of debate in several Transformers forums since it's understandable that he is quite underpainted, especially when you look at the show design on the box, but I actually think he turned out to be a pretty decent figure. Now, another thing I can understand is that for once they decided to design him with the full mouth design without actually going ahead and creating the whole visor and the mouth plate thing that he usually had at times. Now, I still think that the design is really cool, and the only major problem I have with it is not exactly the simple transformation which is expected by the modern day kids version toys, but the fact that, yeah, the paint really is the main issue. He does sport the usual Autobot scanning symbol, which is used in the app. Hopefully you can scan this if it works somewhere. But anyways, before we go into the toy itself, as usual, we will look at the box. Now, I still really enjoyed the very slimmed down boxes since it takes up a lot less space if you're, I guess, a mint in box collector or just getting the stuff on the stores and so on. But anyways, it shows another picture of the same Jazz scene on the front of the box. Shows a lot about Jazz and so on. And it says here that he transforms in 9 steps. And I still like the fact that instead of going out and making a full new instruction label and all that, they actually keep it on the box. So that's pretty cool. Bottom here we see the other figures in the wave, including Sideswipe, which I'll be also reviewing. But anyways, we'll now go on to articulation points on the figure, which is actually quite decent for a modern day toy. Anyways, his head is on a ball joint, but it's kind of hard to get into, so you need to kind of dig in a bit just to get to it. His arms here also on ball joints, so allows full movement. It's actually on a swivel, my bad. And can also bend a little bit out, but that's just due to transformation. His arms can swivel up here and also bend at 90 degrees. And his hands can kind of pivot back and forth, but that's just due to transformation. He has no waist articulation, but his legs are on ball joints, so lots of full movement. Can swivel, but it's really tight here, and can kind of pivot due to transformation in the legs. The only accessory it comes with is this really cool lance that I really like. The only thing I don't like is the giant peg on the side, but there's something to expect in Transformers since they've had to find a way to store it in vehicle mode, which I'll get to after the transformation. But the weapon itself is pretty decent, though I do wish it had a little bit more paint apps, since obviously it's just cats in a white plastic and that's it. Anyways, transformation is extremely simple, but still quite satisfying for a R&D toy. His legs have to be pushed up. Then you peg these together. So it looks like that. Then you're going to pull down his shoulders, push up this component here, and get this piece just a little bit loose out of the way so you can transform it properly. Next, you're going to turn the arms, since they're going to be the front of the vehicle in a minute. You need to play around with it so that you can turn this entire component flat. So, okay, we're going to turn the arms so that they face this direction. And then, once we get that done, we should be able to move the pieces. So there we go. And then we're going to collapse this entire piece flat once we get the arms out of the way, since they can get stuck on the doors. So make sure that this little tiny notch there is underneath the front of the car, so like that. So now it lays completely flat. To transform the end here, you're going to push these inward, put away the hands, and then the cool part is that his hands actually becomes the front of the car. And I think that's a pretty cool design choice. So once you get that done, it should look like this on both sides. You just need to fiddle around with it a bit so that you lay everything together. So it looks like, come on, that. And then you're going to plug these inwards so that they're going together, and then obviously close the doors. Once you get that done, you'll have Jazz in his vehicle mode. Anyways, I think the paint issue kind of hits the vehicle mode more than the robo mode. As you can see on the back, there's barely any paint there, and it looks really bland. And it seems like ever since Animated Jazz and Animated Bumblebee and so on, they kind of just start with the stripe and end nowhere. For some reason, it ends early on and then no more paint. I don't know what Hasbro does to stop the paint right there, but obviously the car one mostly has a lot more paint, but it's also slightly more expensive depending on the store you get. So I'm fine with just getting the Hasbro release since it's a lot more convenient to pick up. But anyways, he sports some very hard plastic wheels, so there is no rubbery texture or anything. And it can roll decently enough, though the back wheels for some reason are slightly tighter grip than the front wheels, so they don't really turn as well, even when you kind of spin it here. As you can see, it's got a lot more friction than this. Then you can roll decently enough. Obviously, you can attach the spear on the top if you wished. So it looks like that, and yeah, it's kind of like a car with a javelin there. It's kind of interesting design, though obviously this isn't a good way for disguise whatsoever. I'm pretty sure cars do not have giant spears or javelins sticking out from the top, but anyways, I do like that it comes with a pretty decent weapon, and both modes are pretty decent. Now, while Jazz is definitely not the most complex of figures, I think it's definitely a really good toy for both collectors and just kids in general, since there isn't any real problematic parts of its transformation. It's still quite simple to transform it back and forth between the two modes, and he does have enough of a design that could appeal to both sides of the collectors. Now, I got this from Target for around $14.99, and it's still definitely worth that price for what it is. I've seen a little higher prices, Amazon and so on. Do not get it for those higher prices. They're definitely not worth like 36 to 40 bucks. But if you happen to find this at the store, I definitely say pick it up, since, yeah, it's a pretty decent Jazz figure. Anyways, don't forget to please comment, rate, subscribe, and check down the channels down below. Also check out the WRW podcast and its new home on YouTube, which I've also listed down below. Also check out Hirotaku for the latest in hero news. And also check me out on Twitter under Darkon633, and I say to you too, bye.